Let's go on a garden tour this morning. We are in between some rain, so there's not a lot of sun out, so it should be nice to give you an update. And as you can see right there in the background, that is some squash. I have done some container gardening, and we'll let you see how well it's doing. There's another one here. A local farmer, actually a couple, donated these big tubs. They had minerals in them. You can see there is Purina. They are working really great. And so I have planted a few of these, and I've used some milk crates, and I've used some just regular tubs. I've used straw. So we have some straw gardening also. And I recently learned about lasagna gardening. I don't know where I've been, but I'm going to try that in my big garden that I'm having trouble with the spiny pigweed. Oh, that stuff's awful. So we'll just do a little quick garden tour until the rain starts and show you how well everything is growing. Okay, first we have, I believe this is, I do have a little stake in here. It tells me what it is. This is one of my, there it is. This is cantaloupe, jumbo cantaloupe. It's only been in here for a couple of weeks. It's doing really good. We have no flowers yet. This is one of my, I'm going to have to talk over the roosters. This is one of my wicking tubs. And then I have, this is my bush beans. I do know what that is. I got a little dark spot here. A damaged leaf. Now as we go along, if I see any pests, I have this great little bottle here, and it's got neem oil in it. And I do spray for anything that is, oh look, I do have some blossoms today. I didn't have those yesterday. So my bush beans are starting to blossom. We have had a lot of rain, and we are looking for some more. We've had 2 inches from the tropical, well, depression by the time it got to me. And so now everything is just really growing. All the chickens, they're like, what are we doing? Are you gonna throw us something? I did. Okay. Next, this is my yellow zucchini squash. We have some beautiful blossoms. I thinned out some of the leaves yesterday so that we could get some sunshine in here. This is a really sunny part. And I guess, okay, I do see some fruit. Right, let's see. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. And see. I've almost lost it here. There they are. There's some of my little squash. So they are starting. Let me get that moved out of the way. So they are starting to form. And it smells really good. Some of those blossoms are falling off, which would be the male blossoms. And I do see one of the leaves is something has been eating on it. And I look over here and I don't see anything on the back side. Just some dead. And there's another one. So something, that might be an egg of some kind right there. And maybe it's an egg. So there is a little bit of activity here. And I think it's that little, there you go. Pardon my dirty hands, I have been digging in the dirt. And here we have some more summer squash. I don't see any fruit on this one. I did plant this one a little bit later than I did the other one. I feel a sprinkle. This is my loofah, and I planted it in a brown feed sack, and I set it down in one of those old milk crates that I found. It's really growing pretty. We've got some pretty leaves. There's a dead one. I'll just throw that over to the chickens. And I have several of these containers, and they're all doing really well. They're getting plenty of water. And I don't see any blooms on this one. There is, oh, this one is really starting to take off. It's already 5 feet tall. And I have an old awning that we had for, had our grills underneath, and I am going to move that over here where the loofahs are at so that it can crawl on it. It's a very nice, so we can trellis it up a little bit. This one, I found my first loofah, but unfortunately I think the ducks found it too. So we have some blossoms that are going to bloom right here. If I can focus it in a little bit. It's not going to focus. And here, somewhere right here is my little loofah. Tell me something ate it. Something took it. It was right here. Oh, there it is. But something took a big munch off of it, but that is my first little loofah. It kind of looks like something just bit the whole end of it out. But as you can see, this probably about a week old, so it's really doing well. Now, I'm just going to leave it there for now, but this is what I'm going to do with the old awning. But it's going to give them plenty. Of course, they have plenty fence here to crawl on also, so I'm not really worried about that. I got the little trellis moved over, even though it's still sprinkling. We will take that canvas off, and I'll still be able to walk under it. I'll still be able to walk under it. Here. So you can see I need to put something at the top here for them to grab onto a little bit more. But they're doing so well that I want to give them a little bit more support, and I would love to see the loofahs hanging from this little skylight. I need a good place to put these carrots in the ground. I have some more loofah, some more tomato plants, some marigold onions, the Christmas cactus that came from all the way across the country, some more tomatoes. Hello, kitty. And we have my little lazy old dog. She likes to stay out of the rain. We have another wicking tub, and this is orange seeded watermelon. Can't wait to try that. But this is going to be their patio, and I'm going to let those watermelons just take over and do whatever they want to do. And I'll keep it off the porch, but I'll let them have this little area to themselves. And right here by the camellia bush, which has variegated leaves now. I did a video earlier on that. When it was blooming, now it's turned variegated. Y'all, look at this crepe myrtle. So if you remember in the fall, we cut it probably 20 feet down. Right now it's about 10 feet tall. So we took about 20 feet of growth, and it's really growing well. It's bushing out. Usually crepe myrtles don't bloom until the hot part of the summer. And as you can see, we've got undergrowth there, and I keep taking it off, and it's growing as fast as I can. I haven't touched it in a couple of weeks because we've had company and a lot of rain. And this is what happens when you don't come out every couple of days and look at your garden. There's a close-up, and you can see, and I literally 2 weeks ago took all of this off. And it grows really fast, and it pops off really easy. And I won't pop off the one up above. You can see how much taller it is than me. You can see here we have oak, a stray oak, and we have briars. And of course, we have ants. They're looking for some water, I guess, or trying to get away from some water. So you can see how tall this is. It's really pretty. Okay, and now we're in another garden area. These are my tomatoes. These are Brandywine. And yesterday I did some pruning, got some of the leaves up off of the straw bales. And as you can see, I had plenty of them that I needed to. And I do have some nice green tomatoes. These aren't quite softball size, but I have some smaller ones. I have plenty of blooms, plenty. And I'm thinning more so we can get more airflow. So I continue to do that every time I come out. There's some more tomatoes under there. Here's some really tiny ones putting on fruit. So I'm so excited. I've never had this many tomatoes at one time. But we do like our salsa around here, and I make a homemade salsa with Jack's Recipe. That's one of my brothers, and it's a great homemade salsa. There's some more of them. These should get about softball size if I let them go that long. They may even get in between there. This is where I had the problem with the cutworm yesterday. You can see that he did quite a little number on my plants here, so I have a big gap. I hope I got them all. And I had these little teeny black tomato worms. Oh, there's one. I missed one. Right there. You see him? The little booger's still eating. I'm gonna get rid of him. And I have my neem oil. I'm gonna spray this whole plant here and see if I can deter some of these little buggers. But he is definitely eating away. I bet I got rid of 20 of them yesterday. And that's just for a couple of days of not coming out. I had company. You should not neglect your garden even for one day, I realize. Even more important because we've had so much rain, so there's a few more pests coming around. There certainly can hide under those leaves. That's how I missed that one yesterday. And I thought I went and looked under every leaf. There's another one eaten. I don't see a worm though. I just got one from here. He did a number on my leaves there. I'm not feeding worms this year. I'm going to try to feed ourselves. There's one that's been eaten, but I don't see a bug. I don't see a bug at all. So every day I'll have to come out here, and now that I've seen them, I had one horn tomato worm, and those suckers can eat a lot overnight. They can eat a lot, but right at the moment I don't see another one, although I see some leaves that have been gnawed on. And I have another nice tomato. Look at that. It's hard for me not to pick them and make fried green tomatoes because that is a favorite of all of ours. But I don't have enough for everybody. Of course, I really don't have to share today if no one's home. But oh, look at this one. This one's just putting on. Isn't that pretty? There's another big, large one there. And here's another large one. That one's even nicer. See how much bigger that's getting? This is the first year to grow Brandywines. Usually I grow Celebrity. They're easy to get in this area. But this year I ran across these Brandywines and I decided to try them. And I think I'm going to be really happy. But we've got, there's a big old hole out of that one, but there's no bug. I did spray yesterday, so maybe it deterred them a little bit. There's probably a dozen tomatoes on here that are ready. So, like I said, over here we have potatoes. These are Hayden's potatoes, and I'm going to, as soon as he gets done with, he's playing All-Stars in their travel ball, so as soon as he's done with that, we're going to try to dig up those potatoes and see what he has. He's excited about that. And y'all, this is spiny pigweed. And if you look, let's see if I can get really close. If you look really close, there is thorns. There's one. There is these sharp half-inch thorns. Let's see if I can find another one that's you can easily tell. This stuff is so nasty. You can't pull it up with your bare hands. I think there's one. See, look at that. Those thorns are awful. Cows won't eat it. The only part that will be eaten, the goats will eat this little seed pods on the top. But most of them don't want to get close to them because they've probably been stuck. But I have this growing in my garden even after I've tried to get rid of it. So, but it was totally covered. I've laid some cardboard down, I've laid some barrier down. I'm just gonna have to rip it all out and maybe do lasagna garden in the middle. But I'll have to work really hard at it this winter. Is another toxic plant to my goats. This is Perilla Mint. And you know, it's really pretty, but you know by the purple stems that it's different, and it does smell like mint. And usually they won't touch it if they have other food. But I still don't like it. I pull it up whenever I get a chance, whenever I see it. Normally it comes up pretty easily. It doesn't have thorns on it but this thing has a big root. Look at that. But it smells really good. I have a few little kohlrabi that the birds haven't gotten. I have some lettuce. I have a couple of radishes and beets. But the birds just took over and they got a hold of my bales. So unfortunately, those aren't going to make too much. And this is another little yellow squash plant. It's doing really good. There, I did take a squash off of it yesterday, and I have some more. There's some more fruit coming on. I did have some squash bugs, but I sprayed the neem oil and I don't see any today. But they look really nice. And here is another fruit coming on. And There's another fruit coming on. There's see a dead leaf I need to get in there and get. My little cucumber plant. Look at all the little babies. We've got babies. I've already taken a whole colander full out, and I pickled those yesterday. So I have about 7, well actually I have about 11 jars because my neighbor gave me some zucchini and I pickled that also. So we have plenty more cucumbers coming on. Little bitty ones. So I'm really proud of them growing in my straw bale. I've left several on. Now you see the tops eaten out of these? The cow, that's Uncle Moose. He's tall enough, he just reaches over and helps himself. And he has topped out all of this cucumber here, almost. Let's see, this one here is doing okay. But if he decides he wants to look, he'll find that there's another one growing. I've got some other cucumbers coming on. More little babies coming on. There's another little baby. So I don't see any of those squash bugs today. I did, like I say, I did spray yesterday. But it's about to rain, so it's gonna rain, it's gonna wash off everything. And I will say about within a few minutes probably. But the cucumbers are still blooming. It had a hard time. Look, this one has been eaten off the top also. All the leaves are gone on the top. And I do have some, oh, what is that called? It's a mint. It's one of the mint plants. What is it? I'll have to think about it. And then I have some peppers here. They're starting to put some fruit on. These are different peppers this year. I haven't ever grown these, and I really don't even know the name. I just picked them up at the little feed store, and it didn't have a marker on it, but it said peppers. Every one of those leaves have been topped off. Every one, except for the top one. So hopefully, I'm not exactly sure what. I don't see a bug, so it had to be either a goat sticking its head right through there, or the cow sticking its head up here. But the cow wouldn't reach that. It is bee balm, I remember now. So it's not blooming right now, but it's pretty. And it has its uses. It's about to rain. All the goats have had their breakfast, and they really want me to let them out in the big pasture. But we're within, I can feel sprinkles now. The lambs want out also. Hello, Jack and Jill. The little lambs are less than 6 months old, have not had any shearing yet. But all the goats are like, please let us out. We want to get out. And the last is our little orchard. These are the blueberries. As you can see, I've already been plucking a few of them off. I didn't expect too much this year because we got them planted late. But as you can see, these are the jumbo giant ones. Aren't they pretty? And I'll go ahead and take those off. I do have some netting up here, and it has kept the birds off of them. Here's one here that have dropped off. They're ready to be eaten. And honestly, I could just pop these in my mouth and eat them just like that. I have been known to eat a tomato right out of the garden. I've been known to pick the berries and eat them before I got them home. Especially if you only had 2 or 3. You know, it's not worth disappointing anyone if they can't get them. And these here, this little bird netting does work good. It's kept them off. And these are called Georgia Giant Blueberry. And they really are nice and big. Oh, finally, My elderberry. I planted these 3 little bushes early in the spring. They are finally blooming. I've got 2 blooms on this one. They're not very tall. And I have 1 bloom on this one. And these aren't the wild ones that I have found. They're not ready yet, but they should, with all this rain, they should be ready in the next couple of weeks, some of them. And the 3rd one is not. It got some frost damage, so it hasn't started blooming yet, but it's still growing and it's nice and healthy looking. So I've got some buckets here to catch some rainwater, and then I'll come back and pour a little extra water. So I have really been trying to keep them watered. We have added water, city water. So now we have the means to, we don't have to drag these buckets around with the tractor. And I've got this old barbecue pit here, and we're putting limbs in it. And so we're going to do a hugelkultur garden. And so we've started adding compost, and I've got to straighten all that out and get it spread out. But it's just an old barbecue pit. So it's already got sides on it. So we're hoping that'll be a little experiment for us this year. Our figs, when we planted them, they got a little frost damage, but they are coming back. There's no fruit on them yet, but this is their first year. See, there's plenty of new growth. So if it fruits, then that's even better. I was telling you from this angle. So we'll spread out these are from the tree that we took down a few days ago, and when the tree fell, this was already dead and ready to decompose. These are our pear trees. This is the Kiefer pear, and it's about 7 foot tall now. It won't have any fruit on it this year, I'm sure, but this is our pollinator pear, and this is my little pineapple pear. Here, y'all, it's raining. You can see I'm getting rain on my camera. This is I think this is the pineapple pear. Yes. This is the pineapple pear. And this big tree has been here almost 10 years. The neighbor planted it. When we bought this property, it happened to be on our side of the property instead of his side. His side has a magnolia. So we have been picking these for a couple of years and making jam. I just want you to see how pretty these pears are this year. It is. The tree is loaded. Looks like a couple of them fell off. There's our new water source. Oh, that's going to save me a lot of time. And let me get over here real quick before the bottom drops out and show you how pretty these pears are. We've got a couple of small ones that are misshapen, but we've got some, and these aren't like the most perfect fruit that you would find in the store, but look at this. Oh my gosh. There's several hundred just on these few limbs right here. But we are going to have a lot of pears to make jam and jelly. And I think I got a new dehydrator, and I think I'm going to dehydrate some. But look at those. They're pretty. They're not real big yet, but these don't get real big. They get about baseball size, as you can see here. Oh my gosh. You just want to reach up, but they go all the way up the tree. Usually I have to wait for those to fall, the ones on the very top. Here's some getting a little bit larger. Getting a little larger, but these are Bartlett pears. They're pretty. So they're just hanging over. But and I couldn't resist just showing you a few shots of these beautiful, beautiful pears. So we have 3 plums and an apple over here. This is the wild plum. All the plums are gone, and I'll insert a couple of photos and show you what we did with the plums. But we had 2 really nice trees. I guess it's a plum thicket because it's got a bunch of little small trees clumped together. But it was a very good producer for us this year. We were really happy with that. And I'll show you the end result of what we did. And my little helpers are showing you the 3.5 gallons of plums, and we've cooked them down. Of course, they lost all their color. And after we cooked them down, then we did a little bit of pressing them and smashing them a little more, and that goes into the compost heap then. So we ended up with these pretty little trees. And of course, this is our plum jam, our jelly. I had to redo it the first time it didn't gel, and these are some of the produce that we took out of the garden. And here we have our pickled zucchini that my neighbor gave us. And these dill pickles on the bottom are from my garden. There's one that I got that's left. These are the banana peppers that I have not done anything with yet. We've eaten a couple. I roasted some. And this is one of the little unique bell peppers. I'm not real sure what the taste is going to be like, but they all have that little color to them, so I guess that's normal. And of course, our wild plum jelly. And it's got some really pretty color. And that is what I've been doing this week. And y'all, thanks for watching. And if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. So as you can see, this is my bonus. This is the wild elderberry that is closest to my house. And you can see it's putting on fruit. Little tiny green berries. So I'm really excited about coming up here. There's going to be a lot of berries. So I'm still watching. We got a ways to go.